You surround me with song of deliverance from my enemies till all my fears is cold. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave. Recording in progress. I am a child of God.
Okay, that's right. We are children of God. And of course, once you hear the song, you know the doctor is in the house. Want to welcome to the studios of Sky 99.5, Dr. Jason Batson for the program Overcoming Health Issues. Good morning to you, good sir.
Good morning, sir. And how are you?
I'm doing quite good. A little tired, but good.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is the time of the year where, you know, you just don't overdo it because next year is our next year. Let me say a pleasant good morning to,
That's right.
To everyone, the listeners of Sky 99.5, to our friends on social media, Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Let me say, of course, you know, when we discuss health from a natural and integrated perspective. Keep in mind that the program is interactive. I do apologize for my my timing this morning, but I almost didn't make it. But I was like, no, I have to make sure and you know, do what I need to do. So I'm here, and of course, as I said, the program is interactive. Today's program, of course, as usual, you know, we touch on one or two things, and then of course we allow you to you know, share or voice what you may have questions to. Because the thing is, sometimes you're ill, you're sick, and you don't know why. I mean, as weird as it might sound, you know, I have had persons who have come to us and, you know, they say, you know, Dr. Batson is sick 10 years now, and I don't know why you're sick. And that to me is, yeah, there's no plausible explanation for something like that. There always has to be a reason. Yeah. There has to be a reason why something is the way it is, always. And as a result of that, it means that we need to know and find out exactly what's going on. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Elizabeth Nandlal. Pleasant good morning to a number of our clients. Alberta Francis says pleasant good morning. We also have persons from Texas joining us this morning, as well as the Caribbean, Barbados, Jamaica. Pleasant good morning to you guys. So we're going to discuss thyroid health this morning. The thyroid, for some reason, has decided to give a lot of problems within the past 20, 15, 10 years, especially among men. Years ago, thyroid, whenever you heard thyroid problems, for some reason it was isolated to women, more so than men. But now, the scale has almost balanced. You know, you have a lot of men with thyroid problems. A lot of women, as usual, with problems with thyroid, but hormonal imbalance in general continues to wreak havoc in the lives of individuals, and they just don't know why. Because maybe the explanation I think sometimes that persons get is insufficient most of the time. But I mean, you can't go to a doctor and ask the doctor why you're sick, and he tell you don't know why you're sick, especially if it is your run. You know, a plethora of tests. You do MRI, CT scans, you do various blood tests, ESR, whatever the case may be. There has to be an answer. The good thing about Batson and Associates, and I tell persons that if you're sick and you don't know why you're sick, we will tell you why you're sick. But what we'll also do, we'll tell you how to fix it or how to correct the situation. Now, the thing is, sometimes when you tell persons that, they look at you almost, you know, puzzled, almost perplexed to the extent that they figure you're fibbing or you're telling lies, because they have been told for a very long time that we don't know why you have diabetes, we don't know why you get hypertension, we don't know why you have cardiovascular disease, you don't know why you have polycystic ovaries. No. There is an explanation as to why you have all those things. Good. Yeah. So we're going to discuss, as I said, thyroid health this morning. We know the importance of the thyroid. The thyroid is a gland that comprises or makes up the endocrine system primarily. The endocrine system, primarily the glands, so thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenals, and so on. And those are, of course, responsible for the production of hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers in the body that play a vital role, chemical messengers. So they instruct the body to do certain things. So you have something known as TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. And that hormone is responsible for doing a number of things. It is responsible for metabolism, your energy level. It is also responsible for sleep. It plays a significant role in metabolism as it relates to weight. So if you have a thyroid problem, you could either be overweight or underweight, because there's something known as hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid function. And you also have, is high thyroid function, and hypo is low thyroid function. So if you have hypothyroidism, the possibility exists you could have problems losing weight, you can have problems sleeping, so much so that you have problems actually being obese, because with a low thyroid function, your metabolism becomes very slow, and it's much harder for your body to metabolize food, burn fat, that type of thing. You may also encounter issues with energy levels. So with a low thyroid function, you may be quite exhausted all the time. You're always tired, very lethargic, even though you may have slept and gotten up. And you just get up and you're tired. I mean, that's not normal. And if you have hyperthyroidism or higher thyroid function, then you could have the opposites in some cases: extreme weight loss, serious insomnia problems. When you have thyroid problems, it's going to affect your central nervous system as well. So that's something you need to be very careful of as where that is concerned. What I would also want to add as relates to thyroid problems, there's a new situation, or newest situation now, where a lot of women, especially menopausal women, are developing thyroid nodules. Now, you need to be very careful with those as well, because the thing is, so you have, what are nodules? Nodules are basically tissue or some form of tissue, because you have different type of nodules, hypodense, and then depending on the density of the nodules, the doctors would let you know. Most of the time, you're going to do CT or MRI of that particular area, and it's going to see the nodules, whatever. The thing is, we have had a few clients who came to us with that problem, and we actually were able to solve it for them. Much to my I was so happy about that situation, because I think in dealing with a lot of women, especially with thyroid problems over the years, we have gotten better, simply because I remember getting individuals who came and they had some really bad nodules. And the thing is, because of where your thyroid is located, your thyroid is very close to your voice box. It's right under your neck there. Your thyroid, parathyroid. And if these nodules get too big, they can actually cause problems with your vocal cords. They could block off or restrict your vocal cords. It could cause problems pressing on different organs, blood vessels that are vital. And as a result of that, it can cause even greater problem. We'll also discuss goitre as well. Goitre is the swelling of the thyroid gland, where it is so bad that it actually have like a lump under your neck. Now, why I decided to speak about thyroid this morning is because, as I said, this situation with thyroid nodules, especially among menopausal women. So menopause, premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, you need to be very careful, because that is something that is becoming more and more common. I'm seeing a lot more persons with that. As I said, we had some clients who got some exceptional results with it, where the nodules actually, in some cases, shrunk. Some of the nodules remained the same size, which was good, or better than what the person was experiencing, because they were actually growing. Based on the treatment protocol that we did, some of the nodules reduced significantly, some disappeared, and some remained stable. Right? So in all those, the good news, I don't really like the stable too much, but it's better than getting bigger. I love, of course, the ones that go down, and of course, the ones that completely disappear. But of course, once you continue the treatment protocol and you do certain things, you find that that happens. So you need to be very careful, because the thing is, if you have thyroid nodules as well, they can cause serious or other endocrine issues, hormonal imbalance, challenges, anxiety, depression, insomnia primarily are the top three that usually comes out of someone who has thyroid problems. Now, we could generalize thyroid problems because you have different types of thyroid diagnosis. So there's also one known as Hashimoto's thyroid. I actually dealt with a lady in Tobago with that, and she got some really, really good results as well. And she just did her maintenance in terms of her lifestyle, diet, and that type of thing. And all is well with her. That's 3 years now. One of the things that you find as well too is that you're getting a lot of individuals who having issues with, as I said, the thyroid nodules, but especially as a consequence of postmenopause. So women, you need to be very, 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 very careful. Very careful, simply because left unchecked is going to cause a lot of problems. And the problems I'm referring to is not only physical problems, but mental problems. And, those are not some that you want, right? Especially, I always tell persons that you have functional depression. We have a lot of people who have functional depression. There's also occupational depression, if nobody ever told you about that. So your occupation could depress you. Psychiatrists leading the list. Yeah, because suicide is not something that a lot of persons like to speak about. But in the professional arena, as it relates to profession, you must do a little search where that is concerned. Which profession has the highest suicide rate? Now, it might sound, horrific for somebody to tell you that. How Dr. Batson could say that. But I mean, it's a reality. So there are certain occupations, because of the stress levels of the occupation, psychiatrists lead the list of persons who take their lives professionally. And the reason for that is because psychiatrists, and this is not me bad talking or trying to make anyone be condescending to anyone, but they are not trained in the way that we are trained, in the sense that we understand grounding and energy medicine and vital medicine and how you need to protect yourself mentally, psychologically, even spiritually, when you deal with sick persons. Because remember, as a psychiatrist or a counselor, you're going to hear all sorts of things. You're going to have to deal with persons who have been physically abused, mentally abused, persons in different situations. So what you have to understand as a human being, you because of that energy and polarity, you're actually going to pick up all those negative energy. And if you don't know how to ground yourself spiritually, especially physically, you're going to end up in problems. So, those of you who are counselors, those of you who, you're given profession. Doctors' professions are given, it should be a given profession.
It should
be a given profession, in the sense that you give and you get, yes, but is a profession of service. And, we have some good doctors. I always tell persons that even the Western ones, really very good ones. And usually when doctors are dedicated to what they do, that could also have some serious consequence on their life and their family and that kind of thing. Anything that, so it's just a matter of understanding that if you are in that type of profession where you are doing counseling, you're psychiatric nurse, those type of things, you have to take care. Remember, you have to take care of you first, in order to,
that's right.
I was looking at something on Facebook recently, and this girl, what's her name, by Fantasia, she was doing an interview where she was talking about, she has to deal with her husband and her family and this one and that one, and and she says, your cup runneth over. She said, you all get the what run over, but what in the cup is mine,
Yes.
and that's how. That's how, yeah. That's how you need to do. I think Oprah said it best too, as well, where you have to have excess to give in order to not resent people, and that applies to any aspect, as it relates to, family, and it could even come down, because most of the stress, because the thing is, thyroid and what I'm discussing here is seriously linked to. Do you know that they did research recently, especially in this situation with men? And one of the things that they realized is that the reason why so many men now have problems with their thyroid is because of misdirection of stress. So, when I say misdirection of stress, we have to understand that stress is something that you're going to have to live with, whether you like it or not. The only people who do not have to deal with stress are the persons who have cemeteries as addresses. So once you're in the land of the living, you're going to have stress to deal with. Some people, of course, stress a little more than others. Some of us are stressed because, as my great-grandmother used to say, you buy that wholesale. So, you know, sometimes it's not a... yes, sometimes we put ourselves in the situation, you know, but that's life, that's experience, that's learning. So, you know, with that being said, you have to understand that there are things that you could do in your lifestyle that could now help you deal with stress. And I think that's something a lot of persons do not know, especially as it relates to what we discuss in thyroid health and even mental health, because people who do, in inverted commas, unspeakable things do it because they have no control over the situation. And some people might figure that is nonsense, but it is. Think of women, for example, who have postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Any normal functioning mother will not bring any harm to her child. We know that. Mother's instinct different. I think our mother instinct way, well, not think it is way more instinctive and potent, more than our father.
Yeah.
You can't debate that in nature. A woman will, you know, see her child in distress under a car or something, a woman will get strength that's, you can't explain it afterwards because of what, you know, being a mother is. So under normal circumstances, a mother would not, a healthy mother, mentally stable mother would not do any harm to her child. So when you see that is happening, or you know someone who has postpartum depression, you send them by Batson Associates. We will help them. Because I always tell persons, when you're dealing with mental health, depression as well, you know, you don't know. But they are in a situation where, because of the imbalances in the body, they do not have the raw material, they do not have the weaponry to fight. Yeah. So imagine you're in a war and you can't fight. No weapons. And that is what these people who have depression, people who have anxiety, women who suffer from PMS, people who are occupational depression, and you're in an occupation and you don't know your occupation, have you depressed there? And that's why I tell people, once you're in high-profile jobs that require a lot of work, you know, CEOs, managing directors, head of departments. Oh, well, once you're in HR, you need about 6 bottle nerve restore. HR was never my subject when I did management. That part I wanted to skip over that course. People might think it's not that I don't like dealing with human beings. I mean, obviously, look at the profession that I am in. I deal with people on a countless basis daily, you know. But it's the HR aspect and the IR aspect I just find, you know, was just nonsensical in certain aspects. Yeah, because I find we encourage a lot of nonsense in this place. But you know, that's a topic for our next discussion. So you have to understand that with that stress, these people need to know how to help themselves. And a lot of persons don't know how to help themselves. And you know, I always tell you guys that I am not in the politics of medicine. And there's a reason why I say that, because I know how it can become. And I just refuse to be tied up in that nonsense. I mean, if they come for me, I'll deal with them. Another choice. But I'm not in the politics of medicine. Yeah. So in other words, when you have problems and, you know, you go to a psychiatrist, and they recommend things like fluoxetine and amitriptyline, Zoloft, what's the next one, boy? There's a next one they have. You need to be very careful. You need to be very careful, because good doctors know, and they know that that is something that should be the last resort to give someone. You do not want to be taking sleeping tablets. Take my advice. You do not want to get hooked on those things. You are going to be in problems.
It's serious.
Problems. It's serious. Yeah, I don't think people understand how serious it is. It's only when they come to Batson Associates and we literally have to fix them. No, and literally is a fix, because a lot of people don't understand. Brain chemicals are very powerful. They are called neurotransmitters, which are messengers. They are very, very, very powerful. So when you take medication that alter your brain chemistry, no, because most of the time when doctors recommend these things, they are supposed to be recommended for a shorter period of time. You know, they should not be left for extended period. I mean, anybody will tell you that. Revotril, and you don't want to be taking that all the time. You don't want to be taking that on. And a medical professional will tell you that. Someone who is not in the field of medicine that I am in, a Western medical doctor, once they are responsible, will tell you that you cannot be on those things for extended period of time. It alters your brain chemistry, and it can make you're not going to be normal. You're going to be in some problems. So what am I saying? So someone listening to this program who may have a hormonal imbalance problem, a female who may have problems with postpartum depression, or who may have problems with depression or anxiety, insomnia, women who have PMS. And I always speak about PMS because I think women don't understand how dangerous PMS is. Because you reach the point, as I tell you, where you no longer have any control. You think you have control, but you don't have any control. And that is a frightening
it is very
reality. Frightening reality. You could imagine mentally you have no control. So women with PMS, they would cry. You would be in a wedding. Happy scenario, people get married with dancing. You're not corner bawling down the place like somebody do you something. And literally bawling. I'm not speaking about sobbing or silent crying. I don't want you bawling down the place. If it's really bad, you give them a little roll on the ground and thing too, No, serious. And you're not dancing. That's not part of the wedding. That's not part of the wedding. Saying, hey, you rolling. No, serious. Because women with PMS experience severe muscle weakness in their legs. Yeah. I remember having to deal with a client without giving out too much information. And that client told me, Dr. Batson, the only reason that I have not committed suicide is because of my children. And because my children would not get, based on the insurance, they would not get.
Once you commit suicide.
What they had to get. That was the only thing that was stopping that individual. You could imagine a parent telling you that.
Yeah.
So
just this week.
Sorry, go
just
ahead.
this week, because I've been looking at the numbers, especially locally, numbers in suicides that we've been having. This week I was looking at a story where a teacher in Manzanilla committed suicide. And I'm saying the numbers are severely on the rise.
The thing is that there are a lot of instances that we don't hear about. Take what I'm telling you. There are instances we don't hear about. It's not in the news. It's not in the news. I mean, look at this young man in, I think because of how popular he is, people know. That's Ellen's, I can't remember his name, the DJ.
Yes, the DJ.
DJ dancer. And I mean, I'm looking at a photograph. I mean, the thing is, you look at people's lives and you don't know what they're dealing with there. You know about picture. But I mean, looking at that photograph with that beautiful woman that is your wife and these three, I mean, outstanding children. Because I always like mixed marriages. I find those children is just be, something to talk about. You don't ever look normal. They have some sort of, they really nice. And I mean, somebody looking at that will be like, but what happened there? And that is what I'm telling you this morning. People like that, you lose your ability to rationalize. You're no longer able, you're not a rational thinking individual when you suffer from depression. When you suffer from anxiety. Remember, most people who suffer from depression do not sleep well enough. It usually go hand in hand. And remember, the purpose of sleep is to renew or to rejuvenate neurotransmitters. That's primarily the purpose of sleep, which is why if you are sleep deprived, you're not supposed to operate machinery. Your ability to coordinate and rationalize is not there. It's not there. It's severely weakened. So these individuals are not normal as regards to what is considered normal. And as a result of that, they will do unspeakable things. So it is your job now to be a brother's keeper. Even in the work environment. I remember some years ago, I was working in a particular place and there was a young lady there. And I know she was, I said, no, something is wrong. Something is wrong with her. I didn't want to get involved. That time I wasn't as qualified as I am now. But I knew certain things. I could have seen warning signs and that type of thing. And that's why I always tell parents with children, teenage children, especially teenage daughters, your sons, look at your children, talk to your children, have conversations with them. Because these young people, look, even bullying. I remember there was an instance with a child who was being bullied. And the parents didn't know anything. And then the child eventually committed suicide. Right? So the thing is, with additional stressors, and not being able to mentally and psychologically deal with a situation because of specific mineral and vitamin and deficiencies in the body. You're not able to function. You're not able to function. So those of you who may have problems with your thyroid and you want some help, serious help that requires some changes. I had a very interesting weekend. I actually went. I was eating out and I met someone who does advertising. So I wanted to say, yeah, they voice a lot of ads and that kind of thing. So I actually want them to do something for me. So I told them, so and so is the case. And I was so glad I met that individual because they were so jovial. So when they were saving the number, because we had to exchange numbers, they say, well, how am I going to remember you? So I don't know. I said, I said, what are you going to put there? He said, oh, because we actually met in the washroom. That's where the conversation started. In the washroom, I was like, hey, you so and so, of course, washing my hands. And they was like, yeah. I said, well, you don't know me, but I know you. So is the case. So the joke is, there was like, oh, I know how I'm going to save this.
Washroom guy.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's actually a good one. Yeah, and then we ended up having a conversation about health, and they were telling me experience. And they say, I find this health thing is so boring. So I started to laugh. I said, what you find is boring? They were like, all the rules. You can't drink this. You can't eat this. You need to do. I find that so boring. I said, well, no. What you have to do is moderation is what you really need to. And he was like, yeah. My doctor told me that it's about moderation. I said, yeah. So we're not saying that you can't eat certain things. You can't take a little ice cream once in a while, a little coffee, and those type of things. But it is the moderation aspect that you need to pay very, very close attention to. Okay, someone is asking a question, Miss Marissa K. Clark. She says, can someone with hyperthyroidism use CMOS? And the answer is yes. I've heard people say that if you have thyroid problems, because the researchers out there, they have certain things. People believe that if you use CMOS, which has iodine in it, and you have a hyperthyroidism problem, you're going to have an issue. A lot of people do not understand that hyperthyroidism is not caused by excess iodine. That problem didn't start there. You have to understand the imbalance, because in nature, nothing or anything in nature does not come isolated. So iron, you wouldn't find something that has iron by itself. So for example, beetroot, which we know is rich in iron, doesn't only have iron. There are a number of other vitamins, minerals, fight. They have things in beetroot they never even research and find yet. Mankind think that all the answers, they don't have it enough. They tell you about vitamin C in orange. Let us study orange properly. You'll see how much thing they will find inside of it. So God in his wisdom did not put anything in isolation in nature. So which is why when you're taking supplements, and I always advise people of this, because sometimes doctors tell you don't buy supplements just like that. And that is to an extent is true. There are some that, high or low, you're going to get help with it. But there are some that you may require some specific attention to detail as regards, especially if you're using specific type medications. There are certain types of things, like if you're using something known as serotonin uptake inhibitors, they call them. There are certain types of herbs that you cannot use in conjunction with those. So if, for example, I'm dealing with you or you're dealing with Batson and Associates, what we will do, based, of course, on your permission, is we change the lifestyle, we make the adjustment, we put in the nutritional protocol, and then there's a point where when you visit your doctor, and this has happened to a lot of our clients, based on the results that you get, the doctor's so impressed, they start to take you off any medication, which is what you really want essentially, right? Because when we work with diabetics, most of the time, some of them get discharged from the clinic. You ever hear this? They discharge people from a clinic. Normally, the only people that leave diabetic clinic is dead people.
Because what they call it is lifestyle clinic.
Until God forbid your demise. So the point is, you want to be in a situation where you get better, and that's what we're talking about. You need to get better. So how are you going to get better? And that is where identifying the source of the problem. Because again, you most of the time when you have thyroid problems, you'll be just given medication to either increase the thyroid, lower the thyroid. But there is no balance in there when you think about it as it relates to addressing it from its holistic perspective, where diet, mindset, even spirituality, and those things are taken into consideration. From the supplement, there's a product we use called Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore is in all the products that we have ever carried at Batson Associates. Nerve Restore became a star very quickly. Like a month out the gate, that product was already in high demand, and now the demand is ridiculous. And we fill in the demand because the product works. And I deliberately did that product because of being bombarded with so many persons with depression, and I think also helping people to understand that they needed to get better, not even realizing that they were sick. So there are people who come to you, and you know, this is not, again, it's sharing information. And when we do blood analysis, I remember dealing with a young lady who wanted to get pregnant. And, you know, she had certain challenges, and she, you know, she was frustrated. The husband was frustrated. Both of them came. And I spent about an hour giving an explanation. And when I was finished, she said, "Sir, I have never in my life heard what it is you just sit down and explain to me." Because we did a blood analysis, and how the consultant did it, and I went and I did the review. And what I showed her, I said, "You're frustrated, right?" She said, "Yes." I say, "Stressed out, right?" "Yes." I say, "Again, talk from people, right?" Because you know when a woman can't procreate, yes, you know, it's talk from all along the road, up the road, mother-in-law, everybody. People tend to be very insensitive in those instances. I say, "So you're frustrated, and I know you're frustrated, but let me tell you why you're not getting pregnant." And when I gave her the explanation, I showed her everything. She was taken aback. But I said, after I say, "I'm making sense to you?" She sit down, she watched the husband, and she say, "Yeah, you're making sense, you know." She never knew that she had all those issues. She was a walking time bomb. So there are people walking around there who's sick, and you don't know you're sick, you know. You don't know you're sick. And that is why it is always good to check. And it's always good to get not one, not two, but possibly 3 opinions on your matter, health-wise.
Yeah.
It may cost you a little money. It might cost you some inconvenience, but take my advice. It could save your life. Because I've known of instances with people, because she didn't realize she was that sick. She didn't even understand how her diet was affecting her, because her foot was swelling. But I mean, you 30-something-year-old woman, why your foot swelling? So she assumed, well, you know, her mother had problem with swelling, or has problems rather, the sisters have it, and whatever. So she thought it was hereditary. That's what the doctor told her. I said, "No, it just means all eating the same bad thing." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then I explained the gastrointestinal system, because we did a live blood, dry blood. But with the dry blood, I like, because we were able to see something known as biological terrain, which I always explain as the aspect where you have to understand your environment is going to affect that whole gastrointestinal system. Your gastrointestinal system is the most important system in the body. Now, the thing is, if that gastrointestinal system is out of balance, like most people's gastrointestinal system, you're suffering from acid reflux, your gastrointestinal system mess. You're suffering from constipation, oh gosh, well, trouble thing. You're in real problems there. Your body is telling you, "Hey, watch me, we're rotting inside of here, you know." Yeah, you can't invite nobody. That's like Christmas time, and your place dirty, and you want to invite people. You can't invite nobody in there. The place dirty, mess.
Yeah.
And when you tell, there are people who are walking around, and it could happen to anybody, you know. And watch me, this is slim people, fat people, in between people, flat belly, big belly, everybody. Yeah. You can have something known as mucoid plaque. Let me explain something to you. So plaque could build up in any part of the body. People automatically assume when they hear plaque is only your arteries or your blood vessels.
Yes.
No, there is intestinal plaque. Good. Now, it is called mucoid, M-U-C-O-I-D, plaque. You could go and research it. Mucoid plaque is said to have the consistency of a rubber tire. And watch me, not a car tire.
That's serious.
Yeah, we're talking about
serious.
tractor tire. Some of your tire might be a little, you know, small bike tire. But some of you, listen to me, tractor tire. So imagine something that has that consistency. That is not going to be permeable now. So when that lines your intestine, it means that your intestines cannot breathe. Do you know that the intestine is supposed to breathe? Why you think people who are constipated, when you are dehydrated, your body takes water from where first? It takes water from your stool. When the stool, it takes from the stool and it need more, it's going to take from your intestines. Then it start to go by your muscles and so on and so on. So and so forth, rather. So what you have to understand is that if you have that mucoid plaque there, you cannot assimilate food properly. You're running around the savannah, you're cycling, you're doing what, you're trying everything in the gym, aerobic, spin class, you're doing everything. You're doing the most, but you're not losing a pound. It's because of that. You have some tire inside of you. And the reality of that.
That's a serious thing. That's
of course,
a very, very
serious
thing.
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
I'm just thinking about what that would do on the body when once your body is unable to assimilate anything, your body is literally starving. And no matter what you put in there after until you deal with that problem.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, you know, the old people said it best, you're spinning top in mud. You're not going anywhere. And that's why people get things like cancer. And think about it. When you understand what cancer is and how cancer ravages the human body, you would understand, because people don't realize, I mean, not everybody do anatomy and physiology, not everybody's a doctor. I mean, we don't want everybody to be doctors, and we don't expect you to go and learn everything. But think about what it is I just told you. If your colon, the human colon generally is about 23 feet in length. When you're alive, when you die, it come about must be about 24 and a half, because it loses that muscularity, right?
Yes.
So it tends to. So your colon is 23 feet in length. Now think about that, right? Now your colon, that is just your colon. Now the thing is, not the entire intestinal tract. So think about this. Your colon is not straight, so it's not laid out straight, right? You have your ascending colon, sorry. You have your ascending, your transverse, then your descending, then your sigmoid colon, which is the little piece down there, right? This is wrapped up. So imagine your colon is supposed to be a certain diameter, certain thick, right? Now, there are some persons, their colon, the diameter is significantly compromised because of the buildup of that same mucoid plaque that I spoke about. So you have now a consistency of rubber tire that is now looping inside of your intestine. So it means when you eat certain things, meat, for example, flour, what is going to happen there?
Everything
going to build up there. And that's why it have people. Do you know that there are persons who sometimes go to use the washroom, and when they go to use the washroom, that is it, they literally blocked up. You have to go to the hospital. It is called a manual evac. They literally, you'll have to take a hose and put it inside of you.
Yes, yes.
So for you to have reached that stage, it means, because remember, that is not going to happen overnight. These things are cumulative or progressive. So people who end up with these autoimmune conditions, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis. This next one is Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis. There's a next one. I don't know why it's not coming to me. But in any case, those are what we are known as inflammatory bowel conditions. Now, inflammation is a word that you used to hear a lot. People, thanks to people like myself, a lot of people know what inflammation is now. The doctors didn't used to tell us. They themselves didn't even know what it was. But we understand now, and we understood that a long, long time ago, that inflammation is the root cause of all disease.
Yeah.
That is where disease comes from. You know? But inflammation can only start, or most of the time starts where? In your intestines. Your intestines, your large intestines, or your intestines, or the small, is primarily responsible for what? The most amount of assimilation in the body. Your intestines is what? A semi-permeable membrane. So it is a strainer. I've spoken on numerous occasions about leaky gut. And if you don't know what leaky gut is, let me tell you something. You don't want to have it, you know. But you know it's the unfortunate thing? A lot of individuals have some portion of leaky gut, some more worse than the other. But most, you have diabetes, that blood sugar level not going down, leaky gut. Hypertension, your blood sugar, your blood pressure not going down, you taking nifedipine, atenolol, They're giving you a diuretic, so it's either Lasik or Benadryl, and your blood pressure stand up to you like a man. They say, no, I'm not going down. You have leaky. There is some gut compromise issue you have there. So the question is now, how are we going to fix it? Because you see, the thing is, when these things start, there is always a beginning, and then you have the middle coming down to the end kind of situation. So I always tell persons, it's like a domino effect. So if we have 100 dominoes and we push down the domino, in order to correct the problem, which domino do we pick up first? Do we pick up the last domino or the first domino that fell? Think about it.
Start beginning.
You have to start from the beginning. Because if you try to pick up the last domino, all the other dominoes not resting on that domino, you can't move that. You'll have to forcibly remove it.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's what people do when they get sick. So when you have high blood pressure and you go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, you have high blood pressure. Okay, come, let me get you some tablets. You are attempting to pick up the last domino.
The last.
You're spinning top in mud. And that's why I tell people I am not in the politics of medicine. I don't have time to talk, and there's people who, I ain't have time for that. I deal with people who want to get better. You want to get better? Come by me. If it is you want to talk, wrong doctor. I mean, in getting better, we will have discourse. Understand that's what I'm saying. But I'm not in that. Because some people like people to waste their time. Don't waste mine. And I would not waste yours. Respect, and that's respectfully. That's just me saying that I am not the doctor for everybody. And I respect that. I totally understand that. Not everybody going to agree with what I say. Not everybody will believe. But to me, it makes sense. That's like somebody telling you they don't believe in God. Like, you know that people they call atheists? I don't know. You need what you need to fall on you, a rhinoceros or what? A tree? Something will be wrong with you. You looking wrong. The Bible tells you just by creation, you could look and realize it have a creator. So if you don't believe that, I'm not getting involved in that. I mean, I'm not discussing religion. I'm talking about spirituality. There has to be a being greater than, every great design has a designer. The chair I sitting down on, the jersey I have on, there's a designer, some intelligent. And as I always tell people, something cannot come from nothing. That is impossible. Human beings could make, M-A-K-E. They cannot create. No human being has the ability to create anything. You make it. You use raw materials that were there. The creator is the only being that created, brought into existence from nothing. God could do that. Right? So that was just saying to help you to understand that. You have to understand. So if that is the case, there's a glass program where I was talking about rules. So there are certain rules that exist, and if you flout those rules, like hydration is a rule. So regardless of whether you don't like water, you don't like how it tastes, you don't like how it smells, it just make you feel nauseous. No, because you put that in your mind. Water generally shouldn't make you feel nauseous once you're drinking the correct water, and once you have practiced drinking water over a period of time. And so many people meet me and say, hey, Dr. Batson, watch me. Since I started drinking that water, I started to feel better. You must feel better. That's a law. So you got to follow the people law. And that's not even the people that's creator. Tell you, hey, the human body is 70% water and you need to drink water. Your colon is 23 feet in length and you cannot consume only meat and flour. You're not supposed to eat and drink simultaneously. You should search if you don't want to take Santulan and you just find this Batson is be talking too much. I ain't going to buy nothing from he. Okay, fine, no problem. Go and see if you find a good cleanser out there. It would have. You might have to search, but it have. Do something. But don't just sit down and, play dotish and say, well, something had to kill you. It have those types, right?
That people say that.
Something had to kill you. Okay, good or something. But I just always tell them, if you know you had to go somehow, when you're in pain, they'll be wasting big people time and think I'll be running up to the hospital with you. And no, I'm not going through that. I just tell my parents, God bless their soul, pleasant good morning to you all, that they need to listen. Because if they don't listen to me, I cut from a different cloth. When you see water more than flour with you, I am doing my part, but I'm only doing what I could do. Because if you didn't listen to what I told you before, then it's you to catch. And that's how I look at life. You've been warned, you've been told certain things, you're an adult. We're not with preschool children here, even though some of them have better sense than some adults. You need to do A, and let's do A. So, if you have a problem with your thyroid, you want some help, Please, if you're dealing with thyroid nodules, when you're coming to us, please ensure that you bring all your scans, your CTs, your MRIs, your thyroid blood tests, function, whatever the case may be, regardless of the last time that you would have done it. Depending on what is there and depending on what we may do, I may have to send you back to do newer ones for us or some kind of thing. Because what's is evidence we're dealing with, you know? Because those clients who came, this particular individuals or these individuals that we dealt with, we have evidentiary support, empirical data that shows the improvement, you know. It's not only anecdotal thing we're dealing with when people come and say they feel better, you know. It's proper information, you know. You have people who come to us with A1C at 9, and when we finish with them in 6 months, the A1C is 5, you know. Yeah, and that wasn't one lab, and it was numerous labs, and it was not any of, well, we don't have labs yet, but it wasn't any of mine, so it's not to say I could say I doctored the information. Yeah, because no people want to talk that foolishness. So, let's disqualify that one time. It's people, you want to get better, let us get you better. We have a new year coming. You know what thing you could do for the new year?
True.
I am the most grumpiest sick person. You don't want to be around me when I'm sick. You know? Everybody just leave the house. You know? See, leave you by yourself. They just make sure. You have a buzzer. If anything going wrong with you, if you need to dare press it. They're not staying with me because I'm a disgusting sick person. No, I'm telling you, I'm the worst sick person to be. Because I absolutely hate to be sick. Hate. If I have a headache,
I know the feeling.
Yeah, because you're no use. You can't do nothing. You can't go in the yard. You can't say we want to take a little swim. You can't go in the gym. You can't do nothing. You just like, and I remember I was telling someone recently, and I'll say this before I call the telephone numbers, let you know what is what, and then of course we're going to take your calls. Let me just look at this quickly. Vidya Soup Nat says, hi doc, I need to get your nerve receptors and or tropical breed. Dr. Enrique said that he called 3 weeks ago. Okay, and I need to visit your office for analysis and a scan. All right, Miss Vidya, there's no problem. You could organize yourself, and we'll make the arrangement for you. We know we're coming out to the end of the year, so a lot of y'all studying, you know, your little curtain and your poinsettias and everything, and I can't vex with you with that, you know, if that's where you find your little, you know, everybody had to live. So those of you who we could deal with this week, we will deal with you this week. If not, we will deal with you next year, God's willing, God spare my life, our lives, right? But the thing is, a new year coming, I tell people I don't believe in resolutions, but I believe in goals, you know, and of course we know with goals, they teach us SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, targeted. So if your goal is to lose weight, please, people, don't be coming to me 1 week before the fact, Dr. Batson, I need to lose 50 pounds in a week. Wrong, doctor. If you want somebody to get locked up, it will not be me. So go by somebody else. Go by somebody else with that, please. All of y'all who know you have weddings, wedding season is usually when people get married, not from all April.
Well, even now, people are getting married.
Okay, well, anybody who have a Christmas wedding to go to and you want to lose weight, listen to me. Just put on a big dress or use a petticoat or something. Cover yourself in the people thing. You can't. That is impossible. A petticoat. I tell you, I old people child, and old people raised me. You know. My great grandmother used to, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, Granny, where's our petticoat? The response I got was too fast. It's only when I get older, I end up asking, I think it was my grandfather's sister, and she told me. I was like, so that is what she couldn't tell me? I wanted to die. I was like, oh, okay, well, our petticoat is an IT. Basically. Practically, that's a granny, you cannot tell me that. But you know, as I say, I old people children. So yeah, if that is the case, listen to me. You're not going to fit in the dress, and it's the bride day. So don't try to go there looking like Coca-Cola shape. Cover up yourself and sit down in a corner and let the bride as she did.
Yes.
To all those of you who plan to go weddings, please check us 4 months in advance. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Yeah,
4 months in advance. Give us some time. Don't come to me 1 month before our wedding and tell him, but you want to fit in a dress, Dr. Batson, you want to lose 30 pounds. So I must go and try to kill you. And then I get in problems, my name all over the papers. And no. So you see what going on there? Bad business across the board. Dr. Batson, now that I get older, I realize the tiredness and lack of energy, sometimes sleepless nights, could be a problem with thyroid. Maria Ansola asked that question. Yes, but keep in mind too, even though we're looking at the thyroid, let me help you out to understand something before we start to take some calls. A lot of the time, you're going to do a T3, a T4, and a TSH, and it is going to come out good. That does not mean that your thyroid is fully functional. Keep in mind, we're always talking about what? Cleanse and detox. That's why Santulan is so powerful. And so, 7-channel detoxification, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Sometimes all you really want is a little detox. But you all need to learn to detox properly. That's our next topic for our next program, because I'll tell you something. A lot of people do not know how to detox. And that's something I made sure everyone who works with me, all our consultants, let me say a pleasant good morning to the hard-working Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Bastamante, Mr. Vialva, and others at Batson and Associates. Yeah, so we ensure because we have to get you there safely, You see, a lot of you all like this, and that's why I'm talking about the weight people, because I know Carnival is coming and some of you are going to come. So here what, if all they know all they want to go and buy all this and don't talk to me. Do not come to tell me anything. And then, of course, that weight loss product that we had before, that we actually now relaunching, because we're doing some work with it. Already we started in December, because it's a very good product. It also helps the diabetics as well, helps to regulate your blood sugar, bring down your weight nicely. It brings down the weight without exercise, but I should not, I don't, I don't subscribe to that. At least try and see if you can get some exercise in there, even if it's once for the week, self. But that, of course, is always more advantageous in the way that you're actually able to do what you need to do. We do have eye drops in stock. We have eye optics formula. We have our water. St. James has gotten stocked up. St. James, watch my water like that, boy. But that's a good thing. It means you're listening. And, as someone met me in the road and told me the other day, he said, Dr. Batson, I would have never believed drinking water would have made me start to feel so good. So it's working. People listening. Yeah. Okay. So keep in mind our telephone numbers, locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number is 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Good news and a lot of excitement coming for you guys in Tobago next year. God spare life. That telephone number for Tobago is 226-4553, 226-4553. Keep in mind, we have road delivery still. This is our last week of operations. We will be closing half day Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is what? That's Saturday, right? That's this Saturday coming, yes. Right, God's willing, and we reopen on the after New Year's, I think, which is going to be the 3rd, because I think how it falls. Yeah. So those of you who may have to get your stuff, water, your teas, that kind of thing, you can still do that, because I know some of you all know how the Christmas is going, so you want to do a little maintenance. Keep in mind, the operative word for this Christmas is discretion. When you go, moderation. When you go, put some salad in the plate there. When you go to the little function, the little Christmas party, the little thing, put some salad in the plate. Don't only put, Christmas always go meat mad. And then that is why all the hypertension people end up in problems. Remember, the more meat you consume as someone who is hypertensive, the greater the likelihood that your blood pressure is going to significantly spike. So be very, very careful, right? Put some salad in that plate. So let's go to the telephone lines and hear what these people need help with, and we go from there.
All right. So if you would like to ask a question, you have a comment, and you would like to just get on to Dr. Batson this morning based on what he's been discussing. We've been discussing thyroid. The numbers to call 624-7729 or 625-2759. And in case For those of you who have been waiting a little way off the radio and you wait for a particular thing, let's get that particular thing.
We take your calls now. 625-2759. 624-7729.
All right. So while we're waiting on some calls, we have 3 questions so far. 4 questions so far. First person they asked, Doctor, what causes one to have cravings for ice? And I'm not pregnant. Well, we dealt with that.
Well, okay. Okay. Congratulations to you. She sounds like she don't hear that at all, boy. She said, I'm not pregnant. Okay, good. So, Miss Not Pregnant, that most likely is anemia. You may have some problem. Keep in mind that people automatically assume that anemia, which is primarily translated as low blood count, which is usually translated as low iron, does not necessarily only mean low iron. Most people with blood disorders have problems with B vitamin assimilation. And as a result of B vitamin issues, you can have cravings for ice and be somewhat anemic or some situation in the aspect of that entire blood.
All right, we do have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Now, for a little arthritis in the knee, you know what would be good for that.
Okay. You mind if I... and how long are you experiencing this problem?
7 years now.
Both knees?
Well, one knee more than one.
And
one knee more than that.
Okay, good. And you ever did any sort of x-rays, any CT scans, any MRIs, anything like that?
I did an X-ray on the knee.
Mm-hmm. And what did they say? You're missing cartilage, the bone rubbing on bone, you don't have any synovial fluid, that type of thing?
Bone rubbing.
The bone rubbing, okay, good. Okay, well, you can listen off here. I'll tell you what you need to do.
Okay.
You're welcome, sir. All right, good. I like this question because I got a lovely lady by me the other day with this problem. And I told her, I said, you don't worry yourself, man. When you come in here next time, you're running up them stairs. The thing is, when you're dealing with bone rubbing on bone, usually in the knee, the thing is, the way a musculoskeletal system designed, it has a number of different components. So in wisdom, obviously, again, moving parts usually require what? Lubrication, right?
Lubrication.
Good. So you can't drive your vehicle without your different oils and whatnot, right? So the same applies to the human body. So if you're getting bones rubbing on bone in the knee area or any part of your body, spinal as well, it is an indication that you have some severe wear and tear inside of there. So the question, of course, is could this be fixed? The answer is yes. What you need to do in order to fix that is you need to give your body the raw material to rebuild, because your body is constantly rebuilding and regenerating itself. It mightn't be able to do it as it was when it was 19, 20 years, but if you eat well and you do certain things, it will continue to do it well enough, long enough, right? So in a case like that with persons who have problems with knees and that type of thing, CMOS is your friend. I always tell you guys that. And so much so we actually sourced some really good one, which we usually have available at Batson Associates. I know it, so we have in the office. But what you also need to do, you need to put some seeds and grains there. So you need things like chia seeds, you need your flax seed, right? What you also need is to deal with the inflammation. Now, that's how we ended up with inflammation formula, which is our next very popular product we have at Batson Associates. And the reason why it works so well is because it literally naturally reduces inflammatory response in the body. There are inflammatory chemicals that the purpose of these chemicals is basically to wreak havoc in your body. So if you have high inflammatory chemicals, the main ones would be for primarily cytokines, there are prostaglandins, and you have a whole other different sets. But cytokines and prostaglandins tend to be very problematic because what they do is while you are asleep, they actually produce more inflammatory chemicals, or their levels increase. And their main purpose is basically to kill you, primarily. So we need to now reduce the levels of those inflammatory chemicals in the body. Now, in Western medicine, you would be usually given steroids, primarily prednisolone. Then you have something known as, is actually a chemotherapy drug, that is methotrexate. Again, the people who make these, as well as the doctors who recommend it, will tell you that you should not use these things for extended period of time. Painkillers also fall in that category as well, because remember what painkillers do is that it affects your what? Your central nervous system, and it interferes with your nerve endings. Now, if it is you do it in the case, and because I understand when you're in pain, it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing. Everyone wants release, especially when you have to go out. So, you know, some people, you might make up your mind, here, what I'm taking 2 painkiller today because I had to go in the market, I had to go in the grocery, I had to go down in Potter's Pain, and you don't want to be walking in tongue and fall down. Good? We understand that. But what I'm saying to you, it must not become habitual.
Yeah.
The United States of America and the World Health Organization has sounded an alarm throughout the world a long time ago. Must be over 10 years now, this alarm sounding all over the place. But they don't know how to deal with it. And that is the abuse of over-the-counter drugs. People are abusing it so much so people ending up with bleeding stomach, they ending up with... So you need to be very careful in using those things. So you have to deal with it from the root cause. So I'll suggest you get some inflammation formula, get your CMOS, get a nice osterizer, and start to make your little smoothies in the morning. Keep in mind, no milk. You could also get the yogurt, that the Greek yogurt, unsweetened, unflavored. Yeah, the one that tastes bad, that's the one you need.
Yeah.
Right? And you could always sweeten with things like dates or maybe a banana, your favorite fruit, that type of thing. But that's going to help with the cartilage. The inflammation formula is going to help. There's a product we carry called Omega with astaxanthin. That was hard to get. There are a lot of people who used to bring it and they don't even bring it again because it's so difficult to get. But we have gotten, and we got a good bit, thank God. So we have that there to also assist you in that situation. So you could always call, get some information. And diet-wise, what I'll suggest to you, if you use coffee and sugar, you should reduce that in your diet. Because when you're dealing with musculoskeletal inflammatory conditions, so like rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, you need to reduce high acidity in the body. So all those things like sugars and coffee and soft drinks and things, you need to lessen down or eliminate those for a little while out of the diet. Yes, sir, over to you.
All right. The person who asked the question earlier about the eating ice, he said my thyroid is on my chest pressing and on my windpipe, and I also have a breathing tube in and craving for the ice. I feel upset at times. Now, this is a severe situation.
Yeah, that's personal chronic. So, so okay, so based on what they're saying, it's sounding as if they have a problem with the thyroid, where the thyroid is actually resting and compressing some part, but they say they have a breathing tube.
Yeah.
Okay, so the possibility exists. I don't know, need to give me some more information there, but definitely you need some assistance as regards from a chronic perspective, because it means that your situation seems to be a little adverse. So yeah, I would have to get more information. You're going to have to give me more than that for me to know exactly how to dot my I's and cross my T's.
We have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. Good morning, caller. Can you take down your radio a bit?
Okay. Let me see if I could find it.
Ready, radio is on?
No, it's on the phone. It's a little tiny radio on the phone.
Okay.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
So Dr. Batson, the radio talk host. What happened? I was at Dr. Batson's office yesterday. Because I'm having an issue. My son, he did bypass surgery.
Oh, okay.
He did bypass surgery at the age of 6 years.
Okay.
And on the 22nd of November, he suffered heart failure, they said.
Whoa.
And I took him to the hospital, right? But he didn't want to stay in there because he was traumatized by doctors in the past, right?
Okay.
So after that, he needed a checkup. So I took him to the Martin Health Center just for a normal check. So when I went there now, the doctor gave him some tablets for water. Right? Some like Lexia or some kind of thing like that.
LASIK.
Yeah, LASIK, right? So I said, doctor, what kind of effects this will have on him? What is the effect? Will it have drowsiness? right? What is this? He said, no, it won't do him anything. It's just for them to pass a lot of urine, right?
Right.
So the Tuesday morning, she said, give him half of the tablet after breakfast. I give him the tablet. By the time we leave the Martin and we reach St. James, my son was critical, Dr. Batson.
Okay.
His heart rate went up to 150.
Whoa.
Sweating, cramp, he can't walk, feeling weak, and all these things. Right? So after he ended up in the hospital, right, and he was in ICU for 4 days, he's still in St. James Hospital right now. But now they say that he has a blood clot in his heart and one in his foot. Right? So yesterday, I came to your office yesterday and I asked one of your associates if you can do anything for that.
Okay, so tell me something. Let me just go back a little bit, right? So you said he had a triple bypass at the age of 6, correct?
6 years, yes.
And how old is he now?
44.
44 years. So during
44.
that, okay, so from since that time to now, everything was good with him. He would have monitored himself, normal checks, all those type of things.
No, well, he didn't used to like to go to the doctor because of the situation I tell him with yeah. But I've been asking him to go, and he keeps refusing. He didn't want to go. He don't want to go, right? And it's a few years he didn't take no checkup. But anyhow, it's just recently he had a little, he had a little shortness of breath, and he was perspiring, and that was all. Right. But when he took the tablet that the doctor gave him in Dr.Batson Health Center, he went critical. Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, the other day, I took it by his specialist, right? Right. So when I reached his specialist, he says, Alexander, take him right now out of this office. I cannot do anything for him. He's critical. Take him to St. James Hospital or Porter Spain Hospital because he's critical. I can't do anything for him here. Right. And he ended up in the hospital. But he wasn't that bad. Since ever my son had his surgery, I never seen him was in that condition. In that kind of condition. Well, you see, what would have happened there? The doctor would have done what was standard protocol. Most likely, he realized that he had some water around the heart, which is why, because that's normally why they would give you the diuretic, eh? Yes, he said it was the lungs and the lungs. Yeah. So that's some aspect of COPD, which, normally. So that's standard protocol. But the thing is, the possibility exists. Maybe your son, one of two things, he could have had some sort of slight allergic reaction, or because of, underlying situations there, the LASIK would have given that response. Yeah. So how is he now in the hospital? Is he now stable? What's going on now? Well, right now he's in the hospital in St. James, and they say I don't remember the name of the blood, right? But some part of his body, they say that the blood was a bit high, so they're trying to get it down. Right. Right? And they say they're giving him this thing they call warfarin. Yeah, they will have to give him warfarin to thin the blood. Yeah. Yeah, but the other day, doctor, the blood went to 10. But tell me something. Does he suffer? So he's usually on warfarin, or they just give him warfarin in this particular case? No, they give him in the hospital since he went there. Since he went in, right? Because they will realize the blood is thicker. So when you're in those type of situations, they give you either warfarin or Comet. The next one, Clexine. So that's standard. They give him warfarin and aspirin, right? So standard protocol. But this is what I could recommend, God's willing. I mean, once he is okay enough. So is he eating and that type of thing, or he's not feeding too? So eating, drinking, and thing. Yeah, man. So God's willing, once he all right. Subsequent to that, and I will deal with that situation for you. But I'll tell you something, You see, and this is not casting blame or anything, it's just a word of advice. You see, whenever persons have situations like that, I understand, the trauma and whatever the case may be. But what would have happened to him? He would have started to develop underlying situations over a period of time. Was he ever hypertensive as an adult? Did he become hypertensive? He didn't? Well, when he wasn't there, it went up high when he was there. But generally, he was never hypertensive. No, never. He never had those kind of complications before at all. But then again, too, what I'm saying, remember, if he wasn't doing regular checks, there are some people, unless he had an apparatus, because what I would advise for a patient like
Yeah, because what I would advise for a patient like that, and I always tell people, if it is, you have any kind of little heart condition, it's always good to have a blood pressure machine. Monitor your blood. Monitor your blood pressure. It would not have to be every day, but maybe like every 2 days or every 3 days. And he would have realized that it had some, because once it is your lung, because what would have happened to him? That water was in his lungs a while now. So that's why when he went and the doctor sounded him, the doctor realized, so he gave him what is standard protocol in the industry, right? But unfortunately, he had a reaction, and the reaction could have been based on a number of things, whether it's depending on how the situation was and that kind of thing. But what I believe and what I could tell you, God's willing, it seems like he's going good, because I mean they're going to do the necessary, because once you give him warfarin and aspirin and those type of things, it means they need to thin out the blood. So the blood in that particular situation would have gotten a bit thick. They would deal with the lungs, and then God's willing, once he comes out, after that, I will do my utmost to make sure and dot the I's and cross the T. He's going to have to look at lifestyle and certain things, and God's willing, once he follow, we could correct that situation.
Yeah, well, one more thing I have to say, right? I explained his condition because the specialist is saying he wants to keep updated with what's going on with him, right?
Right, good.
Because the specialist seen about him since he's a baby.
Right.
Because he was his father's doctor as well. Right? But what he's telling me now is that he needs a cardiologist. Right? Now, they don't have a cardiologist in St. James, they have one in Port of Spain.
Right.
So if ever you need a cardiologist, they have to take him to the hospital in Port of Spain.
Well, most likely what they will do is join in the clinic.
But
what
is the specialist saying that he needs this the blood clot is a problem, and that could be dangerous to his health right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're going to have some sort of consultant somewhere there, whether it's via phone call or they have, because I know they have one that visit ever so often. So I think in that case, they might just do, and then eventually they might try and move him or something like that. Right?
Because his specialist was telling me he needs to move the clot, and it will cost so much money to do it.
Well,
because he does work in Sinclair. It will cost him between 15 to 20,000 if he have to take him in Sinclair Medical to have it done. So that's why I want to have your opinion too.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, as I said, once he's under the supervision of whichever institution he is in, which is right now St. James, they're going to do all that they need to do. Subsequent to that, once he's out and they have certain things that we could do, I could definitely, the clot I could help with. I've dealt with clots in head, in leg, and clot. Once you deal with it properly, because what I normally do, we use things to dissolve clots. We do not move clots, and a lot of people don't know that. But in integrative medicine, there are a number of protocols that you could use that actually dissolves the clot or digests the clot, which is what you want. You don't want clots moving, right?
Yeah, yesterday when I went to your office in St. James,
right.
One of your associates gave me a list of stuff, so I just wanted to confirm with you as well. Yeah. To let you know I was there yesterday, and he gave me a list of stuff. I think the stuff cost $1,500. So I wanted to speak with you as well.
Okay, good. Well, here what I'll do for you, all right? Because they would have your name and everything. So what I'll do Monday, because I'm actually working in St. James on Tuesday, God's willing. So I'll just message them on Monday. Yeah, Tuesday, please God, I'm working. I'll message it and I'll let them send it to my phone with your information, and I could always give you a call and just advise you accordingly.
Yeah, well, we'll have Dr. Batson. You'll have to call me on this number, 388.
Don't give a number on air.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
My cell phone not working anymore. I don't have the WhatsApp anymore. That's the problem.
Okay, well, no, here to do that easy. Just call St. James office. You have the St. James number, right? 220-8113.
Okay. Yeah, I have all your numbers.
Right. So just call them and let them know who you are and give them that alternative number. So in the morning, please God, they'll send all the information on the phone for me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. Take care.
Okay, Dr. Batson, have a blessed day and continue doing the good work. And I always send all my friends to you who have problems.
Oh, okay, thank you so very much for that.
All right, then. Have a blessed day.
You too. God bless.
You and the radio host.
Yes, sir. Man.
Okay, then. God bless.
You too.
All right. We have some more questions. Good morning, Dr. Batson. My question for today is what causes varicose veins and can it be cured? And do you have any products to help or treatments?
Good question, man. The thing is, okay, so varicose veins. The medical condition is actually known as varicosis. So the way your blood vessels designed in your legs, they have like valves that's supposed to close off. So the valves tend to make like almost a V. So usually you're in the circulation below your heart, your pulmonary circulation above your heart, systemic circulation is below your heart. So usually, because of a number of issues, you find varicosis tends to begin or start. Pregnancy is usually when women tend to end up with varicose veins, and the reason for that is because of the weight that you carry, because you're carrying a fetus, and you're gonna this additional pounds that you're actually walking. So when you stand up, you find that you could end up with some level of venous insufficiency or varicosis, where the valves don't close off completely. So as a result of that, they remain slightly open, and then blood actually pools in the veins themselves, and then you are diagnosed with what is known as varicose veins. You also have spider veins and that type of thing. That is an indication that the elasticity and those valves are not working as they should. Could it be corrected? Yes. Weight loss is one thing that you need to look at, because usually you find in some cases, some persons who tend to be very weighty, heavy, it's very easy for you to end up with varicose veins, spider veins. As regards to what we use at Batson & Associates, there are a number of things that we have for varicose veins. There's a product that we use called, the circulation tea, which is like one of the most popular teas that we have. That tends to work for that. I would also, in a situation, depending on how bad it is, L-arginine is good, but you're looking at, usually you have L-arginine, L-citrulline. As you know, I'm very brand specific in what I use, and that's based on experience. So there's a particular one that we use that the combination is good, and it also has K2 in it, which is very important for circulation, right? What I may have to do for you is we may need to tweak it if it is you would have had any sort of vein surgery. I always warn people, you need to be very careful when doctors tell you that they have to strip your veins. Be very, 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 very careful, please. Because based on anatomy and physiology, it is very, you cannot really strip a vein. I don't even know why they call it that. But that is a procedure where they remove some linings, and that causes problems. It causes problems. Let me tell you something. When you're dealing with poor circulation, take the long way. Do not do don't do shortcuts. You're going to end up in a lot of problems. People who have DVT, which is deep vein thrombosis, because there are some persons who are more prone to clots, right? Now, there's something called, is your INR, boy? Yes, where they actually look at the thickness of your blood. So usually, if it is in those clinics and you're using like warfarin, which is primarily Comodine, which I am not one of the favorite fans of, based on the interaction and all that kind of thing and the chemistry of the drugs, which is why now they use something called Clexine, which is a little more recommended, and you have a next one as well too that they use. But extended use of blood thinners can be very dangerous, exceedingly dangerous, especially if you look at the research that they have now on things like aspirin and all those type of things. But what you need to do, again, is the basic, the first domino. How is your hydration? Do you think if you are dehydrated, it wouldn't cause problems with clots? Your blood wouldn't get thicker? If your blood is what? Your blood is 70% plasma, 30% solid, which is platelets, red blood cells, white blood cells. So if you are dehydrated, your vein problem is going to be worse. In fact, the dehydration could be the reason why you have the blood situation. All right. What you will do, ma'am, as regards to, because you're asking regarding no, you could give the number to St. James in the morning, please, God. Don't put it on the chat. And that's St. James number. Well, let's say you have it. You could just call them or and let them know what number it is. And when I call, they will let me know because I know the name now. Okay? Yeah. So look at your first domino. What is your first domino? Is it dehydration? Some of you, your diet. There are certain types of foods that contribute or increase clotting. So you might be using a lot of iron. So you might use a lot of green figs, a lot of beetroot, that kind of thing. Those things are good. but you don't want to be overdoing it in some cases. So in some cases, the blood count might be too high, or the blood is becoming very thick. It's just like people who have high platelets. You know, there are some persons, their platelet count tend to be higher than normal. So most blood anomalies, let's call them that. So things like this thing, geez, why it's not coming to my mind? Sickle cell, people who have thalassemia, and those different blood disorders, most of the time, it has, again, to do with the first domino. Where was your problem? How did this originate? Is it a gastrointestinal system problem? Is it a musculoskeletal problem? Because remember, red blood cells are produced where? In your bone marrow. I am least happy with bone marrow transplants. I don't know why. I found out that is one of the I just find they're just putting you through. Yeah, I mean, medicine has done. We have reached so far in medicine now. It amazes me why we actually have sick people, but that's just for a different conversation. But sometimes the digging and what they just want to do is inhumane. Why would I want to give you a mechanical knee? Why would you want to do a knee replacement? Almighty God give you your good proper knee. Because of something, accident, or your own negligence, you end up with a problem. So you think the only way to fix it is to go and put in a mechanical knee? Or you all ever see how they do a knee replacement surgery? Go online. They have them, they will see. It's hammer and sword it is using them. That's not fun. And knee replacement surgery only lasts 10 years. Yeah. So God forbid if you do it, well, I mean, I might be able to help you. No, well, not only keep doing it, because for you to do over knee replacement, that is a different kind of maths there, boy. I don't think few doctors in the world could do that. Few. You go in, and then the thing is, you have to understand when they do knee replacement, they have to put, if you look how they attach those things, is screw and no. All they don't like on themselves, man. I tell all they don't like on themselves. The kind of thing always let people do to you all. But you have to understand, I know you're in pain, but understand, if your knee is giving you problems, fix the knee. What is the problem? Most people who do knee replacement surgery are overweight people. You're too heavy. You are too heavy.
Dr. Batson, and persons wait too long.
Yeah, they do. Look, hip replacement. Somebody now saying they're doing hip replacement. You have to understand, and that is what I tell persons, we have to have a new educational system, and that's why whenever I speak the way I speak, because I want people to understand that, listen to me. Even if you don't come to me, service to man is service to God. You must get some information to help yourself. Don't wait until water more than flour, as the old people say, to come. You know it is you go on and take out a hole. You want to put a hole, give me a whole wire hip. No. What are you going to do with that? What you think, listen to me, nothing does work better than the original. I always tell you that. Get yourself some joint tea. Get some CMOS. I tell you, why only thing I talk so much about CMOS? I know somebody drinks CMOS, you know how long they live? 109 years, right in Trinidad here, When they see they're telling you about old people and checking people's age, they may know the old people. They have some old people in this country. Take what I'm telling you. Go all Matlot and go all, you see in the bush? Go and find them. Quiet living, 99, 100, 101, 105 and thing. Check the diet and the lifestyle. What did it eat? CMOS, green fig, a little tanya, some sweet potato. Like that, they get blue dasheen. If you see me girl, I'll give that woman get a chance to buy all that dasheen in the market. They don't love you see blue nice dasheen. So yeah, man, eat something to give you some kind of sustenance. These things that they call in food now, I tell all you, this thing is not food, or they cannot be eating this foolishness all the time. Once in a while you go, you carry the children, or whatever the case may be. Okay, good. We understand that. But you need to put living food, living body. Dead food, dead body. Simple maths in that, That is not new maths, that is not pure maths, that is basic maths. 1 and 1 is 2. It could never be 6.
That's right.
It could 1 and 1 is 2. If you're getting 1, if you're checking 1 and 1 and you're getting 6, something wrong.
Something definitely wrong. We have some more calls coming in.
Let's go.
Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Batson and air host there.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
I am 84 years of age. Just diagnosed on the 3rd of October with sugar. Now, all sweets, beetroot, everything, but I am eating everything in moderation.
Okay,
Is
so
that all right?
yeah, that's okay. But tell me something. So, who diagnosed you with diabetes? What you did at A1C?
The doctor diagnosed me with diabetes.
Okay, moms. But here we're asking you. He did a test called at A1C. You see your results?
I didn't see it, but when he checked my fingers, the blood, yeah, I have diabetes.
So you start taking medication yet?
Well, he gave me medication, yes, because I had a sprained ankle and whatnot. So he gave me a set of medication.
And how young are you? How young are you? 84?
Yeah, 84. A strong 84, thank God.
Well, I'm not going to say strong, like a strong 84. Here, what it is, I'm going to advise you, my dearest, eh? You know, I love my girls your age, you know. When I tell you, I wish I could come and sit down and have a conversation with all this, so you know, learn plenty things. So let me tell you something. You see that diagnosis there? You don't necessarily have to come to me, but call my office and I will fix that for you. Because let me tell you something. Some of these people need to have some sense. He can't see you at 84 years. The good Lord bless you. You going good. To come and tell you have tablet, to come to give you medication now. I have a problem with that. I have a serious problem with that. Yeah, we need to adjust your diet. You want a little clean out. We have to check your water or something. But no. Them just find you're going too good. That's what is getting vexed.
At this age too.
Yeah, at this age, damn man.
And I was on a ticket. I said at this age,
No, ma'am. I had to call you Mary. No, Mary. We ain't going down that road.
I am an active person, you know.
Yeah, but I hear that in your voice. You 84. You eat some couscous. You eat.
You see right now, doctor, right now. I have a pot of dasheen on
right. You're telling me, talking about sugar. My dear, give me an office a call. Let me sort that out for you.
All right, I will call St. James and make an appointment.
Yes, my dear. All right?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Have a blessed day, and may God bless you and continue to do God-given work that He gives you to do.
Amen. I'm taking that with all the blessings.
Bye, dear.
Take care, my dear.
Wow, well, that's
and that's what, and that is not the only thing, and that's why I say these people need to use some common sense, man. That's what you would do. Big man or woman like you, if somebody come at me that age, and I see that, and then you heard what she said, she had a sprained ankle. So the possibility exists, because the thing is, he did he or she did the fasting blood sugar. Or you must just stick your hand here, you know how long you tell the woman not to eat, and gonna tell the lady she had diabetes at 84 and gonna get anti-tablet to take. No, man. Come on, man. Do your work better than that, man. That's negligence.
Yeah. We have another call on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Dr.Batson.
Hi, good day.
You said not to use ice, right?
Not to use what, sorry?
Ice.
Ice, okay.
How would you make smoothies?
No, well, I'm not going to correct. I never said not to use ice, no, my dear. I said not to eat ice, because that's women usually, when they eat an ice, is normally an indication of being anemic. But if you're making a smoothie, well, I different, you know. I just make my smoothie. My smoothie just be hot, you know. Them people who living in my house, they say I ain't right in my head, you know. I just do my smoothie like that. So if you put a little ice in it, nobody, you know.
Yes, I tell you, I don't drink nothing cold.
Yeah, yeah, I don't drink anything cold. If that smoothie, that would cause my smoothie to be a little cold, the CMOS is be in the fridge, the yogurt does be in the fridge. And I don't use cold water. So I just take it, I throw it, I blend it, and because I drink it that one time. My CMOS don't stay and thing. I just mix that, I drink it one time, and that is it. So if you want, you could put a little in it, but I tell people I'm not too much of an advocate of those cold things, because it really does cause problems.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my dear.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, so someone is asking a question. Let me answer this quick. Maria Ansola. Let me say again a pleasant good morning to our social media. We have Spice Girl 13. No, yes, Spice Girl 1357 Love. You see these names you all have? I feel you send someone to church, you know. Kind of name all they have here. People see these names, they'll feel they're doing a different kind of work, you know. Anyway, I just give in trouble. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Erica McCarthy, Miss Indra Kaladin. When we get in Santulan, we have Santulan from Tuesday, please God, we will have. Tobago has. Trinidad is what is waiting on our own. Right? And Ms. Ansiola asked a question as regards to, is poor circulation an indication or a sign of heart problem? It may be an early indicator. Left unchecked over an extended period of time, poor circulation can affect your heart. Because it's just like blood clots and things like angina. Bypass has become a popular thing now. I always tell persons, you cannot, please do not wait to hear you have to do a bypass, triple bypass, quadruple bypass, and that type of thing. There are things that you could use to actually clean your arteries, you know. But it's maintenance, preventative maintenance. Remember, all the blood vessels in the human body, if they were to be attached, they could make the circumference of the earth 2.5 times. So if you were to take your capillaries and join it to your veins and your arteries, and you make the entire distance is 66,000 miles. So think about it. If pipeline from Port of Spain to San Fernando is blocked up, if a pipeline in your yard, from the front of the yard to the back of the yard could get blocked up, you could imagine what's going on with 66,000 miles of blood vessels. 66,000 miles, that's the earth 2.5, the circumference of the earth 2.5 times. It is said scientifically that the surface area of the endothelial lining of your blood vessels could be about the size of about 4 football fields. That's the surface area. If you were to take it and put it to lie flat. So you all understand why it is important to take care of your cardiovascular system. Why is it important to drink your water, take your little circulation tea, use your vegetables, fiber. One of the major issues that we have is that people do not have sufficient fiber in their diet. You have 2 types of fiber. You have soluble fiber and you have insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber decreases the transit time in your bowels. So it means, as opposed to eating or having 1 bowel movement for the day, if you have more fiber in your diet, the likelihood you would have 2 to 3 bowel movements for the day, which is healthier, right? And then soluble fiber is responsible for the regulating of your blood sugar. So that is why processed food, and too much processed food, is a bad thing. That is why provision could never be worse than rice. It is impossible. Provision could never be worse than dumpling, even if it is coconut or cornmeal dumpling, which is the only way I'll eat dumpling, once in a blue moon. But I mean, you can't beat a good coconut dumpling earlier. Oh, jeez, whoa. Yeah, whoa. Yeah, you got a nice coconut dumpling there, and you're in business, or a cassava dumpling.
Cassava dumpling.
Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, gosh, imagine some callaloo and some crab. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I had some dashi dumpling too.
Yeah, I ate that when I was in Tobago. That was really good. Yeah, and you see, that's the thing, you know, I tell people, and that's one of the things I like our Tobago brothers and sisters for. Watch me. I am not a bread person, but you see, when I go to Tobago, and watch me, they have a bread, a cassava bread. And there's this next one. When they had the Blue Food Festival, yes. I went, one of the stakeholders, they had invited me, and I went. Watch me, I get a good dasheen bread. Was dasheen Edos and I think green fig. Watch me. Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5. Watch me, I tell that lady, I say, Tanti, I taking you know, come back to Trinidad with me. Watch me, the best I ever eaten in my life. And you know what I liked about it? The fiber, the bread wasn't, you know, like, you know, it has some bread when you hold the bread and you squeeze it in your hand, you could knock out people. Yes. No. Bread nice. So when I tell people, so that's why I tell people, it's just a matter of doing the thing, but doing it correctly. And you see, ground food, you could never go wrong with ground food. Don't let anybody fool you and talk no foolishness in your head. Ground food is it. cassava dashing. I mean, I know it might be a little pricey, and now I don't know how you money. If you have space home plants, get some half a barrel. Since COVID, they didn't teach you, they learn nothing about kitchen garden. Yeah, man. They are half a barrel and plant some cassava in it.
That's right.
When you go sit down and say cassava expensive, and you ain't doing nothing. You have to try and help yourself out here, you know.
True. Very true.
All right. Question.
We have some more questions. All right. Someone is asking, can baking soda be used as deodorant?
Of course it can. Yeah, well, you want to keep it under your arms because it's going to mess up your clothes. But what I normally do is like when you're bathing, you just take a little bit, you rub it, you put it under your arms, and then while you're doing your soaping and scrubbing your tongue and whatever you're doing, you just rinse it off. The thing is, you can't do that too much, you know. Well, if you have an odor problem, then you're looking at internally, so you're looking at Santulana 7-channel detox, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin and your lungs. I was actually having a conversation with someone on Friday about skin problems, and they had a condition with psoriasis. And I was explaining to them why. I told them, I said, where you used to work? In oil and gas. That's all I said. And the person get quiet on the phone. He said, but how you know that? I say, well, most people who end up with skin problems are persons who are exposed to some kind of chemicals, if it is not a gastrointestinal problem. Because based on the conversation with the individual, they eat well, they do certain things. So it was environmental or occupational that caused that. But what you have to understand is that toxins can stay in your body for years, and toxins love to store themselves in your body. And they can do that for years and years and years and years and years. And when they find an opportune time, then they come and they start to wreak havoc.
Wow. That's serious. That is serious. Someone is asking as well, is magnesia block good to use for a cooling drink, and how long should it be used?
Well, the thing is, milk and magnesia, our parents used to use because that had a lot of magnesium in it. And we know magnesium is good. So, but the thing is, don't use milk and magnesia as a laxative consistently. So if you have a gastrointestinal problem and you're getting problem with your bowels, you should not be dependent on a laxative. Because we know milk and magnesia has laxative properties. Just like baking soda is a laxative too. If you take a tablespoon of baking soda and put it in water and drink it, you dare not go anywhere, you know. You are still in the house whole day. And that's too much.
I don't get that, strangely enough.
No, but you get that with maybe a half teaspoon or a teaspoon, but not a tablespoon. If you take a heaping tablespoon of baking soda and drink it, you're in real problems. In fact, you're not supposed to do that.
That's too much.
That's too much. If you do the teaspoon, So with the half teaspoon, you'll get like, normal-ish bowel movement. But it's going to help in doing some oxygen inside of there. It's going to help with the gastrointestinal. It's going to help. It's going to help. But do not reach the point where you're dependent on a laxative to go. That is problematic. And that is going to cause issues where you're going to always need a laxative. Because what you're going to do is actually damage the lining of the intestines, called the endothelial, that endothelial lining. And that's going to, not endothelial lining, rather, that's the lining of the mucosa, it's called, in the intestines. And that has to deal with, remember bowel movement is a central nervous system function. It is your autonomic nervous system that causes you to go to the washroom. Sympathetic, parasympathetic. I think it's the parasympathetic. So if that is not functioning properly, if the body is not getting that connectivity and that message is not being received, then you would not get bowel movement, which is why stroke patients, depending on the severity of your stroke, they have problems with their bowels.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We have a call coming in. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Good morning, Dr. Batson and Brother Lyndon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. My husband fell yesterday in the bathroom and it hit his face. So it's blue-black. So I heard it's good to use aloes, or is it good to use Iridex or warm water? What is good for? He said, well, I know it's swollen and it's nothing really, no rich stroke or anything, but just it's swollen and it's blue-black. What is good? What can I use for that?
You said which part of his body that is? His arm, his back, where?
To the side.
Oh, his side. Okay. Well, if it's blue-black, then he needs to get some sort of, I mean, the old people have a remedy with turmeric. So in a case like that,
You told me about turmeric.
yeah, the turmeric is good to use, but when you're using turmeric, I always tell people use an inch of turmeric. You take a little piece. So what I suggest you take like about an inch, you grate it in a cup, you throw it in hot water, and you drink that. You drink that for about 5 days. Make sure he drinks a lot of water. He drinks a lot of water, and what he could do, he could put some ice pack on the side to help with the circulation and that kind of thing, and he should be okay. But let him monitor himself, because if he gets any bad feeling or anything like that, depending on how severe the lash is, it could cause a clot, and that's what you don't want. So monitor him. Monitor him, let him use the ice pack. You can do little slight massages because the skin is not removed, right? It's just right. Blue bar. Right, yeah. So once you do that and you do the quarter, with your finger, where you see that line there, that's basically like an inch, right? So you grate like that and you use it, and you could use that for about 5 to 7 days, and then after that, it should be good. Drink a lot of water, but most importantly, monitor it. If he complain of any bad feeling, and no, don't put any, no. All you should do is get an ice pack and you put it there. That's to help with the bruising and that type of thing. And as I said, monitor it. If you complain of any bad feeling or you see the foot start to swell or something, hospital. But once you don't get that,
is once a day.
Once a day. I suggest once a day.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Blessings, Brother Lyndon.
Blessings to you. All right. We have some voice notes here. No, someone messaged. Let me see. The person with the black tongue. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah, boy.
Yeah.
The tongue still black or it's starting to get clean now?
Well, there's another situation. They said it became clear by the next day. Now my hands, arms, and legs are turning black. And I have hypothyroidism and anemia. I'm a 50-year-old female. This person...
Like they need to, I wonder if they could move. They could move? When I say that, are they mobile or is it a confined to a bed or something? Yeah, if it is or if we have to do a phone consultation or something, but we need to deal with that's not normal, man. That's not normal. There's some sort of toxins somewhere, some sort of could be a gallbladder issue too. Yeah, that's we need some more information there. But that is not normal. That's not normal. As you need to, I don't know how much water you drink. If you have access, if you can get some of the alkaline water, you do and start to drink that and let someone call us and let's fix that situation because that's serious. That's serious. Black anything in the body is never good. Well, I mean, once it's not normally the case. If you're dark skin, all well and good, but you can't be looking. No. Your hands.
If you're changing colors, something is wrong.
Definitely, chameleon business. We had that adaptation as yet.
No, we don't. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Brother Lyndon. Good morning, Dr. Batson.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I couldn't get Santulan in St. James, and one of your workers told me none of the officers had it.
Yeah,
but have limited time with my son because he's only here for 3 weeks. He has to leave on the 3rd of January.
Okay. Right.
Now, I went and I bought, not sure when I was getting Santulan, and I bought keys and I started them on it.
Right.
Oh, I heard you said on the radio that you're getting Santulan by Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday, God's willing, we should have, yeah.
Yes, and you'll get on Tuesday.
Yes.
Right, now my question is, you have started him on the Santulan because you said it's a 7-channel detox. I would have preferred to give him that than the Tizan. But
right.
In mind, I gave the time he has then.
Right.
So, Santulan Tuesday, please, God, if I come to your office, could I take him off the Tizan and start him on the Santulan the next day for the small period of time that he have remaining?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. That's no problem. That's no problem. And when was the last time he did a cleanse though? Is this his first cleanse he doing for a while or what is it?
No. Every time he come home, they get him cleansed from the time but he has 8 years old.
Okay, right.
Friends and they liquid dental and things, and every time school closes, something I've been doing over the years.
Very good, very good, very good.
Now that only when he come home, now they have to do their own thing.
Well, yeah, definitely, because what I was saying too, what he could do, once we will get it, but even based on the timing, where if he's going back out of the country or wherever he goes, he could use, well, I mean, I don't know his working situation, if he's on a rig or whatever the case may be. But
no, he's in medical school.
Medical school. Oh, right, yeah, man. Even subsequent to that, when he goes there, he could always do it, because the way Santulan is basically, even with your classes and that kind of thing, you could schedule your bowel movement based on the time that you drink it, because it normally gives you a bowel movement within a certain window of time. So, what I'm saying in general, yeah, he could always look at it from that perspective. But God's willing, we should have by Tuesday. What I suggest you do, just make sure and call the office. But we get in this week for sure.
My name, she highlighted my number, but I had to make, I wasn't dependent on that because I said, look, I know sometimes people get distracted with a lot of work and things, so let me call. And I was calling Tuesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She said, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. It is here, but we just waiting. Clearance.
I started him on the teeth, and if I could now take him off the teeth, and the day before I start him on the cancel and the next day.
Yeah, that's not a problem. You wouldn't have any issues there. You just have to make sure and drink a lot of water.
He does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I want to bring him into here when he come back home because next year 2023, please God, he's coming just for a month.
Oh, okay, good.
He's opening back early, because that will be what 6 years. So as you yourself know, later on you get less holidays when you begin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened? What you were talking about this morning, I would like to bring it in when he comes back because he hardly get any sleep. I give him the Nutri, so I give him 4 bottles of Nutri, so cerebral, the krill oil, 4 bottles and all that. I mean,
and he's still not sleeping?
He's still not sleeping properly. Back home now, and he tends to sleep mostly in the day, but hardly in the night.
But that's more habitual because remember when you're studying, especially if you're going, he would sleep in the day and study in the nights. So that's more of how he train his body more than anything else. You don't think so?
Oh, because I was wondering if he had a leaky gut syndrome kind of thing.
No. When you're in university, especially medical school, especially that university, one of the best universities in the world, they have one of the most intense medical programs. So I guess it's just custom, how it is. The point is when he sleeps, he would get a good quality of sleep. But I think he would now have to schedule his timing as to how he would study. And then based on how he gets, especially when he starts to do his wrongs and whichever stage he reach, then, that's going to affect.
He told me his nervous son already working, so.
Serious?
With him, because of his studies. I told him, I heard people call on the radio. Helping them, but it's not helping him.
I think it has to do with how he schedules his time in to get up and study and that kind of thing. Okay. Even if he uses 2, if he uses 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, that nerve will stop when you to sleep.
Yeah, I know, but anyway, I will make a point.
Yeah, and in questioning, I'll figure out what it is. But I guess I feel it's just adjustment in terms of university life and how you study and that kind of thing.
If I don't get the appointment for August, you facilitate it because you're here for a month, please.
Yeah, I will facilitate him. Once they let me know, I will fit him in. I'll fit him in.
Okay, then. All right, then. Thank you and God bless.
You too as well. Take care of yourself.
All right, so we have some voice notes coming in. This is a voice note from one of the
Dr.Batson, good morning, on the radio station, guy.
Now we need to pop your name, eh? Yeah, we'll have to do that. Y'all, this is Lyndon. Radio station guy, yeah. Respectfully, that was nice though.
Dr. So that's I want to ask a question. I don't know if it's safe, however, I'm hypertensive and I am pregnant and they want to start me on aspirin when I reach 12 weeks in the pregnancy. Is that safe? I just want to ask like a second review, you know? So I just want to ask like your advice.
That might be safe by their standards, but not mine. I would use that as a last resort. I've treated a lot of pregnant women with when they get gestational diabetes and when they get hypertension. It's just a matter of dotting our I's and crossing our T's. You need to adjust something. Something is not right there, and it's a matter, and that could be adjusted via lifestyle and diet. I don't believe in giving pregnant women medication. I don't. If in last resort, emergency, no problem. But a lot of the times, those things are going to affect your child. It is going to affect. It could cause mental problems. It could put you in a situation when it's time for delivery. You remember aspirin? No. You want to give when you close to. I mean, I know they would be saying in their mind they will go up, give you 12 weeks, and then to the point of when it's close to delivery, they might want to stop. But then remember, it's a pregnancy. Suppose you're in a situation where they have to, is an emergency and they have to take the child before time, premature or something like that. You can't. Where I sit, no. I wouldn't. That is definitely not. Me personally, if you were related to me or will set my wife, I ain't going through that. I would suggest a other way to deal with that. We need to look at lifestyle, diets, that kind of thing, and make some adjustments there, and we could fix it. Even supplemental wise, there are things that we would be able to use, but I'll just have to dot the I's and cross my T's as regards to you individually, because I don't know if you had any other challenges or anything like that. But once I have access to the information and we made an evaluation, definitely there are a million things you could use that would be safe and not put you in harm's way.
All right, I see her recording another voice note. In the meantime, let's see, Miss Charles. Good morning to you.
Good morning to Linda and his wife, Dr. Batson. Good morning. My granddaughter is getting a rash on the two sides of her head in her ear. What can the mother do? Can you recommend any home remedy until they could go by a doctor?
A rash on the both sides of her head. When she says head, most likely she means scalp. Right. So, well, the thing is, if it is you're getting rashes, is normally an indication of some sort of internal problems, most of the time liver, kidney, gastrointestinal, unless it may be an allergic reaction. I think if it was that, you all might have realized. So, home remedy. I would recommend you get some shampoo, whatever shampoo you're accustomed using. You take a teaspoon of the shampoo and you put 2 tablespoons of baking soda. You mix it in about 4 ounces of water and wash her hair with that. Wash the scalp. And, well, before you do that, you get a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You mix it. So the ratio is 1 to 1. So depending on the thickness of the hair, you might have to do 2 to 2 or 3 to 3. You would know. And let her put that, mix it. That's the olive oil and the apple cider vinegar. Mix it together and put it in your scalp. Leave it there for about 45 minutes. And then you rinse with the shampoo and the apple cider vinegar. Not apple cider vinegar, sorry, baking soda.
Baking soda.
Yeah, do that like about 2-3 times a week. And the problem there, surface-wise, may go. But if it is that, the possibility exists that is an internal problem and she needs to look at her water intake. You know, these young people, they don't like to drink water. Maybe too much sugars in the diet. She may need a cleanse of some sort. Find out about the menstrual cycle too, because usually young ladies who have things like back knee and acne and problem with scalp issues usually have hormonal imbalance challenges. It could even be as far as polycystic ovarian syndrome as well. So you need to pay attention to those things. All right?
Beautiful. All right. The mother, okay, her voice note is downloaded yet. All right, let's take in another one.
Let me just, okay, you're going to start that? Just give me 1 second. Let me just say, Spice Girl 13357 Love. She wants to know if her friend is coming from the US, if she can get an appointment on the 21st or the 22nd. She should be able to get an appointment. The only thing is she will most likely have to go to St. James' office. Yeah, that's the 21st is going to be, is not St. James, sorry. The 21st is going to be Shogunas. So yes, she could get the appointment. You'll have to call and make it. I'll fit her in, but definitely not the 22nd, because 22nd is a Thursday and that's radio day.
Right, so we have voice notes here.
A pleasant morning to Dr. Batson. I just love on air. My question is not about thyroid. So I have let's need to ask a question. Can you tell me if circulation can be responsible for pain in your joints? Like example, your ankle instep area around your ankle there, that joint, and also on the knee. Not direct on the kneecap itself, but on the the joints, just on the side of the knee. Can you tell me if circulation can be responsible for such feeling? Thank you in advance.
All right, they send a part to the voice notes as well.
A pleasant morning to you, Dr. Batson. Your view as a professional, I would like you to tell me what are your view on colonics. And we talk about colonics in terms of, has been constipated for a very long time, when uncommon, yeah, constipation results in coming back to constipation, and then whenever you go to use the washroom, you're not properly empty. What are your view on the colonics?
I guess they're talking about colonic irrigation.
Yeah, colon irrigation. Okay, good. Okay. Let me just say, Spice Girl 13357 Love. The number to call for Shogunas would be 2228261. That's 2228261 or 314-9975. Okay. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Denise Hurst, Miss Sarah Bethel McIntosh. Pleasant good morning to you guys. Okay, so as regards to the question, so the first one with circulation and the instep and the ankles and things. Yeah, the thing is poor circulation. Remember, blood is responsible for transporting nutrients and oxygen to your cells. Cells give you tissues, tissues give you organs, organs give you organ system. They have shown that people who ended up with things like herniated disc, people who had to do like knee replacement and those type of things, or end up with serious degeneration in the bones, had a problem with lack of blood circulation to the bones. Because there are cells in your bones known as osteocytes, apart from other cells, and all those cells are supposed to be fed on a constant basis. It's supposed to be well oxygenated on a constant basis. So definitely a poor circulation issue can cause a musculoskeletal issue. So arthritis, joint pain, swelling, stiffness in joints and stuff like that. As regards to the colon irrigation, I'm a huge advocate of it. Huge. I just believe that it needs to be done in a sterile, professional environment. Once you have people who know what they're doing, that's not a problem. In fact, at Batson Associates next year, that's something we're going to start to do at some of our offices. South would get, Shogunas would get, and we're doing a diabetic stroke and arthritis center that'll be in Londonville there. That is going to have that as well. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of that because, as I said before, your colon is 23 feet in length. And the thing is, a lot of people do not evacuate waste properly for a number of reasons. Even the jobs that you do as well. Some people sit a lot. And sometimes in the position that you sit in, because people don't understand how bad posture affects you. So some people slouch when they sit. And then we have these wonderful new cell phones now, and then you'll be like this. You all know that there's a neck condition from using too much cell phones now. There's a diagnosis that they have with that, right? So definitely, you need to adjust those things where that is concerned. So a lot of times, sometimes you have impacted waist. As I said, that mucoid plaque is the consistency of a rubber tire. I mean, when I saw that, and there was a product that we used to bring some years ago, and I actually tried to see if I could get back in touch with that company. That product used to work really, really good. And one of the things the company used to do, that a competition where they used to allow people to take photos of the mucoid plaque when it came out. And apparently that a competition where who had the most gruesome looking mucoid plaque win.
Rubber tire.
Yeah, rubber tire. So if your rubber tire bigger than somebody else, so you win the competition. So watch my, that's some people pulling out some long note. Lyndon, if you didn't see that, boy. Yeah, because what that product did, it was a fiber product. You had to drink a lot of water with it. You didn't eat for 3 days. You were fasting for 3 days. I'm actually going to look at bringing back that. You know, I'd written the owner of the company but I know COVID had everybody busy, whatever the case may be. Because that product actually used to work really well for weight loss. Because I remember I have some persons who actually lost like about 10, 15, 25. I remember there's this particular lady I dealt with it in Central, and she sent so many persons to us after that. Because this particular lady had used Santulan and that product, and she lost, and I'm not exaggerating, in a week time, this lady lost 50 pounds. But if you have seen her stomach, her belly, and when she came to me, that time we had now started off, we weren't, you all weren't Sky 99.5 years. That's when we were analog, when it was 7:30. And yeah, and she got 50 pounds. 50 pounds in 1 week. She said, Dr. Batson, I never believe I had all that inside of me. And it was literally waste, fecal matter. They said when there was, I think one of these celebrities, when they died, when he died, and they did that autopsy, 40 pounds of fecal matter. So you can imagine. So
take down with a hammer and chisel. When they were doing the autopsy.
So people Trinidad and Tobago, you all understand what is going on inside of people and inside of you. So note to self.
Yes, it's serious. We have a call coming in. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question for Dr. Batson, right? 29 years old, and I currently weigh 101 pounds, and I've been trying to gain weight for like years. I just want to know, like, what are some foods I could incorporate into my diet? And the other question is, if I use this Santulan, if I will decrease weight drastically.
This was the question that you spoke about last week.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see how I can tackle this question. So I have to tackle this question from different. Okay, good. Yeah, you can listen off there. Yeah. No problem. Okay. So let me deal with people who are trying to put on weight, including myself. I fall in that category, right? Right now I'm 195. I want to see if I could go up to that 215. Oh God, I'll be so happy. But that's gym. That could only happen from lifting iron. No way else that's going to happen. Right? So you usually find there are some people, they have ectomorph, endomorph. So some people, depending on your body structure, you tend to be a little more difficult to put on weight. Your metabolism tends to be a little higher than others. So I would look at gastrointestinal first. In terms of assimilation. So the possibility exists you have a problem with malabsorption. Your food is not absorbing properly. As regards to the Santulan, and a lot of slim people are afraid to use Santulan because they think it will make them lose more weight. The thing is, when you use the Santulan, what you will lose is waste. And in losing that waste and doing some work on the liver, because your liver is the organ that's going to help you put on the weight, you know. Because your liver is the organ that helps you to do what? Build muscle, right? Also, rest is also important. One of the things they have found with persons who tend to have difficulty in gaining weight, even if everything else lined up and appears to be normal, sometimes lack of sleep. So I don't know how much sleep you get, because in order to grow and put on any kind of sustainable muscle, you need to sleep, you need to rest. Now, there's a misconception a lot of people have, especially with women, that women say, well, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to get strong like a man. Now, under normal circumstances, a female cannot develop muscles like that, unless you may have excess testosterone, like Casta, the athlete. Yeah, most women don't have that. You would have to take something unnatural in order to develop muscles like a man. So that doesn't happen. So what I always advise women to do, especially if you want to put on weight in a situation like that, I would suggest you do the cleanse, and then we fix your absorption. So you're looking at digestive balance, digestive restore, and then what you do now, you add or increase your caloric intake, but you want a healthier caloric intake. So it means you're going to have to use more complex carbohydrates. So there comes things like your ground provision. You can introduce quinoa. Quinoa actually is very good for helping you to lose weight and put on weight, depending on how you do it. Include some eggs, so you need to put in a little protein in the diet. Some people too eat, so I don't know how much you eat, but as I said, you may need to increase your caloric intake, and what usually helps that is smoothies. So you can add like a smoothie into the diet. I always tell them to do that for the elderly as well, because sometimes you have some persons who, you know, they're going down in age and they start to lose a lot of weight, and that's because you have to understand, especially if you're a diabetic, you end up with what is known as muscular atrophy, where the muscles actually begin to waste away. And then remember, as we age, our body doesn't metabolize protein as it used to when we were 20 years old. As you pass the age of 20, your body starts metabolizing protein differently, right? So to anyone who has that situation, male or female, then what you could do is join the gym, but you focus on lower body exercises. So you do squats and lunges. I mean, once everything is good with your musculoskeletal system, make sure and check yourself out. Have a doctor check you. Make sure your bones, your back, everything in order. And then you could go to the gym and have a professional. You may need to get them for a month or something like that. And, you know, start to do your squats, your lunges. You know, I always recommend that for women, especially when they want to lose weight as well, too. Because we know, ladies, you all want to lose the weight. The thing is, you do not lose weight. You don't lose weight. I know you always like to lose weight like that, but that doesn't happen. So some women, they say, I just want my belly go down alone. I just want the legs. They want to keep the legs and the behind nice and high, but no, it don't. So you have to do the workout. Yeah, they watch me. Somebody came to me and she said, Dr. Batson, listen to me. I said, listen, no, I don't want no fairy dust sign, not working fairies inside of here. What do you feel it is? Pixie dust business. So you normally lose weight from the entire aspect of the body. But in women, especially, if you want to keep your buttocks, your legs, your arms, and that type of thing, then you need to start to do some workout. If you can't go to a gym, you get some weights and do some. But squats help, eh? Yeah. Squats is like the most important exercise in the world. Squats strengthens your core. It's very good for your back once you do it properly. So always keep in mind, when you start squatting, form is important first. So you want proper form, and once you get the form, then you could add the weight. And ladies, you could have your nice little 20-pound home, and you do your squats, you do your walking lunges, you could do stationary lunges, you do your little push-ups and that kind of thing, and you start to maintain order.
Beautiful. Someone's sent in a very interesting question/comment here. They say, I dribble when I sleep, not a little, but I drench the pillow and the bed as well so much that I have to put it out to dry every day.
No,
if
man.
I sit and sleep, I dribble down my whole jersey. No, I don't mean to laugh.
No, we don't mean to be laugh, but that's picturing. That's picturing. Yeah, that's a lot. That person's an author. They got a one in literature. How they describe that? So that's the bed drench. You sure that's dribble? No, man. Somebody must be playing a trick on you in that house. Must be when you sleep in the trap bucket of water on you. I refuse to believe you dribbling so much, man. Nah, man. Check them children in that house. Somebody playing a trick on you. Dehydrated. You need to put a camera in that room. But I mean, if you have a situation with dribbling, I mean, you might have to send it to a dentist, maybe. Yeah. But some people sleep with their mouth open, which, so it may be a matter of practicing. And I think sometimes the position you fall, sometimes if you're tired, Maria and Suyola say, whoa, with about 16W. Wow, they're contemporary. So. Yeah, that song. And no, but I think maybe it's just the position and the way you lie down. But you may need to check yourself as regard to you may fall asleep with your mouth open. Spice Girl says she missed the last 4 numbers. Oh, that's for Shoguna's office. It's 222-8261. Again, 222-8261. Okay? Yeah, so maybe you could do some exercises, some jaw exercises to sort of strengthen your jaw, because some people, as they get older, sometimes your mouth do close properly while you sleep. So it might be something you might have been doing all the time, and it's just a matter of practice and watching yourself. Because it happens to all of us, is that sometimes you fall asleep and you dribble and you scorn yourself. Yeah, when I feel that dribble.
And it could even be an issue with the nasal cavity.
Well, the nasal pass.
If you're not breathing properly through your nose, and automatically your mouth would open when you're sleeping.
Yeah. Good point. Great point. Yeah. There's something known as sleep not sleep apnea. It's called sleep apnea. And that's sometimes a cause for concern for some persons as well. And a lot of people who usually have sleep apnea usually tends to be overweight persons. But I've seen very slim persons with that problems where the airways are compromised. And as a result of that, you tend to have problems breathing, and that could cause problems with dribbling and that type of thing. But, observe it, and let's see what we could do. Lyndon made a very valid point. There could be problems with your sinuses. A lot of people have problems with blocked sinus. And blocked sinus is one of the most frustrating things. I tell people, I have never experienced, when people talk about sinus, I am lost. When people say, my sinus raised, I thank God every day I don't have that problem. No, seriously, I really do. Because, I would have been going mad not being able to breathe, honest to God. And that's because I took milk out of my diet years ago. I've been using milk for like about 20-something years. I mean, in between, maybe if it's in a little pastry, if I go and buy something, I feel to eat something out of the way or something like that. I'm not really an ice cream person. Chocolate and dark chocolate is must be once in a blue moon kind of situation. So a lot of person would have issues as regards to sinus, and that's something you need to pay attention to, because when your sinuses become blocked, it significantly affects the circulation to your brain, and in turn it could have caused it. It's a really dangerous. Those people, you can die in your sleep, and that's why I'm very cautious with asthmatics and people with emphysema and that type of thing. And I plead with you all to leave the milk alone. That is, you all ever heard about an unholy alliance? The Bible talk about that. Unholy alliance. Do not milk, and your sinus and asthma is not friends. It is an unholy alliance. So keep yourself out of that. Okay?
All right. So
the time. Your time. So let me just answer Spice Girl quickly. Spice Girls asked for the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number for Shogunas is 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. You have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Keep in mind our telephone numbers for the Shogunas office. It's 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road. In Debe, that telephone number is 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number is 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Remember, those of you who are social media savvy, you can add us on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. We have all our information there. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Someone is asking about inflammation formula for shipment in the US. You could give us a message on our 314-9975 number, and yes, we will guide you accordingly. To the listeners of Sky 99.5, God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Lyndon, sir, always a pleasure. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Same to you, my brother. Take care. Yes, my social media individuals. So Spice Girl, that number again, 314-9975. Okay? And Mr. It's Erica McCarthy. My apologies. I'm saying Eric. we can ship the inflammation formula to the US. We can let you know how, and God's willing, I hope by next year, please God, first quarter next year, we will be doing that in such a way that it is drop shipping, so it's going to be much easier for you guys. But don't worry, better is always coming, right? So God bless you guys. Do enjoy the rest of your day and be safe. Remember, Christmas, moderation is the name of the game, right? God bless you guys and take care. Remember our specials that we have our pensioner special, we have our Christmas special, and we have that executive special that we have still running until we close, God's willing, on the 24th half day. Okay? So that's it. Take care. Bye.